If you really want a BYD Atto 3, then either wait for this new version or just buy a Geely EX5 or the Leapmotor C10 because they're both better cars than an Atto 3. But anyway, this is a new Atto 3. It's been upgraded and it's got a longer battery range because it's got a bigger battery. And I think it's actually not bad. It's pretty good. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. YouTube's new algorithm means that you're often not getting all of our videos in your feed. There's 7,500. I'm pretty sure you're probably not seeing a lot of them. In the description, there is a link to our newsletter. Click on that and you can get an update every day of all the latest news in the electric car industry. New Atto 3 gets 650 kilometers of range with a 75 kilowatt hour battery, which is much bigger. I had an Atto 3 a few years back. To be honest, I didn't really like it that much. I think for me, it was kind of hard to get, hard to get used to. And I had an issue with being able to set the cruise control and it was kind of frustrating. But I wouldn't have actually sold it, but I had to because of Shanna's cancer. We had to leave Australia and we came back, but at the time we thought we needed the money, which would have been true. But because many of you gave to our GoFundMe, we ended up being able to buy another car. And that car was an Xpeng G6. Anyway, the updated Atto 3, known as the Yuan Plus in China, gets a 75 kilowatt hour battery. And to give you an idea of the current battery size, this is much bigger because the current battery is 60.5, meaning it's 15 kilowatt hours bigger. It's a big difference in size. Now, there is a smaller battery option, the standard range option, that's a 50 kilowatt hour battery. Most people get the 60 kilowatt hour battery, that's known as a long range. Those models offer 430 kilometers and 510 kilometers of CLTC range. So this new version has 140 kilometers more range. 140, that's a pretty big difference. Guys, I have seen a lot of people driving their BYD Atto 3s on the Hume Highway goes from Sydney down to Melbourne. A lot of people do this. Charging speed's quite slow in these cars. People are very patient and they're used to it. And this was the first, affordable EV to be sold in Australia. So quite a lot of them have been sold. So kudos to these people who do this. But this new version, it's quite a bit better because not only does it get a much bigger battery, it also gets a lot more power. I mean, a lot more power. It's got a 230 kilowatt or 308 horsepower motor, which is a massive increase of 80 kilowatt or 107 horsepower. So absolutely huge difference. The only thing I'd say is, I'm not sure that's really a big advantage. I don't think the BYD Atto 3 is underpowered. And as far as I know, it's not all-wheel drive. So assuming it's not all-wheel drive, because there's no news that it is, it's front-wheel drive, 230 kilowatt, 308 horsepower through those front tires. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting recipe for tire smoke and needing to replace your tires more quickly than what you otherwise would. Now, I personally have experience with this. I've owned a fair few front-wheel drive, more high-power vehicles, and I find it's hard to put the power to the ground. So if this were rear-wheel drive, I'd be like, yeah, cool. Because for example, I was just thinking today, my Xpeng G6 with its 220 kilowatts, something like that, 0 to 100 is not super fast. It's just under 6 seconds. But it never feels out of control. It never feels like it's trying to struggle to put the power down on the ground. It's always composed. Whereas I had a Toyota Orion V6, which had similar power numbers, just little bit less power actually, front wheel drive, and my God, that thing was freaking scary. It was fast for a front wheel drive car, but yeah, it was a difficult car to control. Handling wasn't great. Anyway, I'm not saying the Atto 3 will be like that. I'm just sharing with you some experiences. Top speed is up to 180 kilometers an hour from 160. So if you want to do 180 in this car, I wish you all the best. Dimensions are the same. The car size hasn't changed, but as you can see, the looks have changed a little bit. Looks more modern at the front. I think they've improved the looks for sure. This car actually looks quite nice. To be honest, overall, this car is actually pretty good now. This range is going to be good. It will be a fair bit heavier, getting an extra battery size and the difference in motor. It's going to add a fair bit of weight, but still, it's going to be an impressive car. So, how much has the weight increased? Well, I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Before I actually tell you how much the weight's increased, let us know in the comment section. See who gets it right, right? Okay. Racing Solar is the company that I used. I'll put a link to them in the description below. It's increased to 1,880 kilos. So that means it's 190 to 255 kilo heavier than the current model. So it doesn't matter which model you get. Basically, the current model weighs between 1,625 kilo up to 1,690. And the new model is 1,880 kilos. Now, that's the long-range battery. So basically, you're adding 190 kilos in battery weight. That's essentially what you're adding. Lithium iron phosphate batteries are great, but they are a little heavier than NMC batteries. The price tag, how much will it cost? Well, I don't know, because we don't know what the price is yet in China, but the price in China, right, for the most expensive version of this car with God's Eye C and 29 sensors and 12 high definition cameras and 12 ultrasonic radars and 5mm wave radars. Anyway, that's $19,900 US, the most expensive version. But I think the long range version without all that stuff is about $18,000 US. So I'm assuming this car will come to Australia. It's very likely it will, this long range version. WLTP range will probably be about 530 kilometers. And my guess is it'll be priced probably about $5,000 more than the existing long-range version. Appearance, the updated Atto 3 is not a lot changed, but the rims are different. 18-inch wheels are the same in terms of size, but the actual rims are different. The actual size of the tires, 235 and 215. I'm not sure if that's front or back, but usually you have 235s at the back and 215s at the front. Because this is front-wheel drive, they might have offset it and gone bigger at the front and narrow at the rear. Possible. Charging port has been moved from the right front fender to the right rear fender, says carnewschina.com. There's a standard panoramic sunroof and optional front radar, side camera, rear camera, and window trim. Those are all the details we know so far of the Atto 3. I'm going to guess the charging speed has increased as well, but I don't know for sure. So that's the big change here, and I think this is a good change. There will be some people that want this extra range. There will be some people that want the extra power as well. And having options is great. Not everyone wants, 430 kilometers. If they can get 500 plus kilometers of range, this might be the right car for them. Guys, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.